Gaming, your first stop for high-quality streaming and recording equipment, including this stream deck, which lets you evolve your gaming broadcasts. Find out more by clicking the link in the description. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another broadcast for the AOR PC Tier 1 League. It is, GT3 as well. It is still the GT3 League. I'm Fizzy, and I will be taking you through this penultimate round of the season at Sportsland Sugo, a track I've never raced at, a track I've never seen a race at. It's going to be very, very exciting. And with me in the commentary box, as per usual, is the man, the myth, the legend, the everything. It's King-Kodiak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome indeed to Sportsland Sugo. A rather twisty, quite bumpy track. It's relatively short. Apologies for the delay in getting the stream underway, but here we are nonetheless. We have got just over half of the qualifying remaining as Popsu gets his Audi onto the top spot with at 118.461. This track is all about balance. It is very twisty, fairly bumpy in places, and not a lot of straights.
Yeah, that's been a problem. Some reason it started streaming and now it's just not working. It just seems to have stopped.
This is not good.
I can't even press the start streaming button anymore. What's going on?
Let me have a look.
I was previewing and then I pressed start and...
yeah, we're not listed as live, I don't think.
Yeah, the preview is working. Then I pressed start streaming and it's not...
yeah, we're not listed as live.
Okay, now it's working. Fuck me in the anus. Okay, I will do this work. This broadcast is brought to you by Elgato Gaming, your first stop for high-quality streaming and recording equipment, including this stream deck, which lets you evolve your gaming broadcasts. Find out more by clicking the link in the description. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another broadcast in the AOR GT3 Leagues. This is PC Tier 1, and we are at the penultimate round of the season at a track which I've never seen a race at, and I've never raced at myself. It is Sportsland Sugo. It's going to be very interesting to see what this track has to bring us in terms of the racing. Yeah, I'm Fizzy, and with me in the commentary box is the legend of all legends in the world. It is King-Kodiak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Sportsland Sugo. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties that's caused a bit of delay in getting the stream underway. We are still in qualifying, 3.5 minutes remaining. And we have only got 14 drivers with us, sadly, which is a bit of a shame with diminished numbers. And unfortunately, one of our main championship protagonists, Heidi, has been having major connection problems all day. And that is actually preventing him from being here. He will appear, and he has actually connected twice to the server already this evening, but has dropped out both times, unfortunately. If he's not able to solve it in the next minute, then unfortunately he will not be able to participate.
Oh, that's such a shame if the Heidi can't get in, because, yeah, we obviously know the incredible battles that the Heidi and Jadier have had throughout the season. Last week was no exception as well, when they were so close together in the race at Hockenheim. And, yeah, the Heidi, the season he's had, he so deserves to be able to give Jadier a fight for this championship, as he still has a chance to. He's only 7 points behind, no, he's 15 points behind, going into this penultimate round. Of course, if he then is not able to take part today and Jadier has a normal result for him, then that basically spells the end of the championship, and it does not look good as it stands. The Heidi is not in this session.
Sadly not, but we will see how the race progresses. Current top spot is Popsu, 117.838, but only 20 thousandths behind is Jadier. It's very much an Audi-dominated grid at the moment. The top three are in top four indeed are Audis. Now this circuit is all about balance. There's no major straights here. It is all twists and turns. There's 2 major straights. We're looking at Mr. Van Orman. He's on the back straight, and even then you only just kind of start heading towards the sharper end of the speed. As you can see, he'll come through. Let's just bring up my map. He's heading through what's referred to as horseback corner. And then, for some reason, these 2 turns are called SP in and SP out. Don't know why, that's what they're called. Wow, and that's a lot of sliding going on in Van Orman's car. And then 110R corner is this one's actually a double apex right-hander. And there you see the apex changeover into the final turn as Van Orman comes across the line just over a minute to go, as Van Orman's just been demoted to 5th by Scott, jumping up to 4th. Does Van Orman improve? He doesn't this time. He's got the fuel to carry on. Scott has just been demoted by Leon. So, as you can see, the Audis really are ruling the roost at the moment. Popsu's still at the top of the tree.
Yeah. So Leon looking good again, as he did last week when he had a lonely race in 4th place, and is currently in 4th place in qualifying. Here to Desipac, yeah, up in and in the pits, so he's not going to improve, but yeah, to Desipac having a fantastic qualifying by his usual standards. And Jada and Pops are really, really close, so we can only hope that with the Hyde, if he's not able to get in the race, which I think is too late for him now.
It's too late now, yeah.
Yeah, shame. He would have needed to be in with less than 2 minutes to go in qualifying. So let's hope at least that Popsu can be the man to challenge Jada like we saw so many times last season. And it would be only the 2nd time that Popsu have been up there in qualifying to this extent. He's had one pole position earlier in the season. Here comes Jada though. He wants to take that pole position and get that bonus point.
But
he's
not
gonna
today.
Start a final lap. Yeah, well, he's just got a time, I think, to get one lap in, because he had a couple of seconds to go as he crossed the line.
Yes, I thought he'd actually... I didn't realise he'd actually beat the flag. Bo actually up to 5th then, so Mercedes 5 and 6. Taking row 3. That's a very impressive effort. And you can see actually how the tail seems to be quite a common tactic to throw the tail, and actually Bo's on a quicker lap. Popsu returning to the pits, and he will not improve. So it seems to be quite a common way of getting the car to rotate, and that is certainly something you want, is for these cars to get around the corners as quick as possible. Whoa, wow, 1.5 tenths Jardier to the good. He only needs to find 20 thousandths, and he's already found that and more. As someone's just coming into the pits. Only 5 cars remaining on track. Who's out there? Hunter is out there. Hunter has defected from the Lambo. He is in the M6 for this run. There's Nesterowicz. Ironic is just crossing the line. Does he improve from 11th? He does not. Where is Bo? Bo crosses the line. He jumps up to 5th with a 118.282. Nesterowicz, and that's Hunter is gone horribly wrong in the M6. Nesterowicz. Jardier, does he improve? Yes, he does. 117.767 in the death of the session to take that pole spot. He did lose some time. He found 900ths of a second, which was enough to give him pole by 700ths of a second. Very nicely done. And Nesterowicz was the only other man on track in the Lambo, 119.5.
Indeed. So that is the end then of this qualifying session. Just waiting for the time to go out, and it's just done that as I said so. You can see on the side there, the Hyde has been trying to connect to the session several times. Unfortunately, he's not here. He couldn't make it at the end of the session. So Jardier is going to be on pole position by 700ths over Popsu to Desert back in a fantastic 3rd on the grid. Mr. Van Abben, as you see him back up there as well in 4th. Bo in 5th, then Linda Sick 1, Scott, Zenny, Colin McCoy and Nagrom in the top 10. Ironic, Nesterowicz, Hunter and Berserker have a tough day ahead of them, but it's going to be an hour-long race, so I'm sure they can make up some places.
Well, indeed. Indeed, so we're just heading down to the grid, and it is, of course, raining, as you can see. So, yes, those that... so not only do you need a balanced car, you do still need to maximize the grip in these very, very tricky conditions. And as you can see, it is dark. So the track temperature, yes, the track temperature is quite low. So therefore, it's going to be quite a challenge for our drivers to get the most out of their grip. So Jardier is, I think as we said, in the ACR liveried Audi alongside Popsu. These two, as well we know, as well we've said many, many times, have cross-swords a lot in the in last season and this. There is 2 Desert Pack. Great effort for him in car 64, the blue and orange and white Audi. There's the second ACR car of Van Ommen in fourth. Bo, the lead Mercedes, with Leon the sick one, also in the ACR coloured Audi, splitting the two Mercs, of those particular two Mercs. Scott having a pretty decent run a couple of rounds ago in Catalonia. Finds himself starting in 7th. There is Zenny, car 63. In 8th, Colonel McCoy. Not a bad effort for you then. The lead Lambo of Nagram in 10th. Ironic in 11th. There's 3 Lambos in sequence there.
Oh, yes. Keep the shot at this part of the field, please. Thank you.
And then Hunter in the M6, Soul M6, Other Race, and Berserker at the back, with that Merc obviously abandoning the Renault a few rounds ago and is sticking with the mighty Mercedes for the rest of the season.
Indeed. I'm just enjoying this glorious view of the Lamborghinis. Someone asking what's everyone's dream car in the chat, and mine would be a Lamborghini. One of these wouldn't mind. The rainbow colored one is pretty cool as well. So the lights are out, and as usual there is no movement, which is good because we are then preparing for the formation lap, the manual rolling start procedure. But while the cars get some moving, I'm going to quickly just show the driver standings with 2 races to go. Unfortunately, it looks like the championship battle will be over by default, as we have just lost someone.
We lost Bo.
Let's go back to the race. Bo is disconnected on the grid.
Oh no, yeah, Bo's car did not move when the grid rolled on, so we are already down to 13.
13? I mean, seriously.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the small attendance. The saving grace, I suppose, is the track is relatively short, but either way, it's we can only apologise for it. And that is what we have.
We need to have a word with some of these drivers, really. Obviously started the season with 26, so we're down to half. I feel like we're on a console now instead of a PC. But anyway, quick show of the remainder of the standings. You can see the Heidi was 14 points behind, but that's going to be a default championship win now potentially for Jadir if he finishes well in this race. Storm has pulled out. Popsu is then Jadir's main challenger in this particular race. Scott has 5th place in the bag by the looks of it. Zenny and Speedyman, who is not even here anymore. Ironic, Ginger, and Nagram are quite close, but Dinda is also not racing. So yeah, quite close. Some places in the standings, but others not so much. And further down, of course, in the standings as well, some of the drivers will have several positions to still fight for. But let's turn our attention to this particular race, as I think it's about here that the drivers will start forming up in their 2x2 formation.
Yes, I mean, bearing in mind they're trying to drive 2x2 formation around a dark, cold, slippery track. Yeah, I can understand why people are a little bit hesitant to wait until they actually get onto the start-finish line before they get into the 2x2. There we go. So that line has been slowed down to 80 kilometers an hour. It's actually 60 miles an hour. It's a little bit quick. Oh, there we go. They've just slowed it down to 50 miles an hour. So Jardier will gun it when he feels good and ready to start the race. And wow, that's 2 Desert Pack ready to go. Jardier, of course, getting a decent start. Popsu's been swamped. 2 Desert Pack already up to 2nd. Van Ommen is lurming there. Wow, there's Scott. There's Scott in the middle. That's Van Ommen. Oh no, beg your pardon. Who is that that's fallen through the field? I think it's Leon, actually. That's yeah, it is. Yeah. Leon's fallen right the way down to 8th, side by side with one of the Lambos. It's ironic he's side by side with. He's now really struggling to try and get some traction in that Audi, and being battered in between the M6 and the lead Lambo. Whoa! Look at that M6. Oh, that's someone off. I think it's. Is that Nagram? Yeah, that's Nagram that's fallen to the back of the field. Goodness me, it is happening here, there, and everywhere, as I was always imagined. Look at the lead, too. That's Jardier and Popsu. Surprise, surprise. That have broken away. That's 2.5 seconds they've already got to themselves.
Yeah, Popsu got swarmed by Tedespac into the first corner, but then Tedespac had a little bit of contact in the rear and is now down to 4th place. So a big gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field. Not the cleanest start to the race, I have to say. We've definitely seen better from these drivers. A little bit of banging here and there, a couple of car stuff, but nothing too major, I don't think. The whole field is separated by 8 seconds.
Stunning start from Scott, though, to get his Mercedes right up to 3rd. 2 Desert Pack is hanging on to the front row. That's Zenny and Ommen very, very close. That's Van Ommen going a little wide. You can do that in that last turn. You can then try and cut back towards the final corner apex to get a decent run. It's very long, though, so I'm not sure how much you'll gain Look at that, that's Leon and Colonel McCoy side by side. That's a battle for 7th. There we see just in front of Zenny and Omen, almost going side by side into the first turn. Very gently, it's so slippery through there. And that was Berserker, Berserker started last. He's already up to 8th, so he's kept his nose out of trouble and is doing quite well. There, Mercedes trying to get a switch back there on Colonel McCoy. That is battle for 8th. Oh, that's very close. Colonel McCoy hanging on to that one. Berserker trying again on the inside of the double left-hander. There's third corner and hairpin now through the S-turns. That's the M6. That's Hunter that's trying to keep that mighty M6 under control. And he's got a face full of spray and a face full of Lambo at the moment. He gives Nestorowicz a bit of a nudge, gives him a hurry up. Come on, get on with it. Through what's referred to as Rainbow Corner. Then along that back stretch. As Emma's got loads of battles going on everywhere. The only real gap, Scott is a little bit on his own again. He's broken away from Van Orman, but he is closing in on Popsu, I can see. Popsu and Jardier. Popsu's falling a little bit off the back of Jardier. So once again, the ACR lead Audi is starting to get into his stride and breaking away.
Yeah, certainly looks good for the championship leader at this part.
Oh, Ironic's in trouble.
Ironic's down in last place. Is going... Well, it was going quite slowly, it looked like.
Yeah, I saw there was somebody off the back of the field, and somebody's in the pit already. It's Leon. So we didn't see anyone have any major issues, so he could be just getting his pit stop out of the way. For those unaware, there is a mandatory pit stop to see how long he's stationary for. Very quick, so that's just getting the pit stop out of the way. And away goes Leon, then he won't have to worry about the pits for the rest of the race. Jumping back up to the front, Popsu is now 1.2 behind Jardier. Jardier is once again getting into a stride, but Scott is closing him down. You can see the blue Mercedes is closing in now. It's just hovering between 1.5 and 2 seconds between the pair. Scott is clear of Van Orman, who's clear of Zenny to Desert Pack after a great qualifying. He's now down to 6th place, but is hanging on to his teammate as they scream on down then towards Horseback Corner. Well, that gets very close to the cameraman. And then you have Berserker, who's now up to 7th, so it's a great run for Berserker. He's been, it's fair to say, he's been a bit of a struggle for the top tier debutant, but he's having a great race here. As the weather has the wet weather has a good habit of shuffling up the pack, and that's Berserker making good use of that.
Yeah, it looks like treacherous conditions out there, to be honest. We've already seen several minor mistakes made by the drivers, of course, as if the rain didn't make the visibility hard enough, especially when they're just behind someone, as we see Nagram. Look at his face, and in addition to that, it's dark as well, just some floodlights here and there, so you can barely see where you're going. It's absolutely challenging for these drivers. I'm sure a lot of these drivers are driving this track
blind.
This race, they will have practiced throughout the week, obviously. Some of them at least. But
this man's not. He's quite happy out there with a full visor full of a spray-free windscreen. But look at the lap times of the top three: 26.8, 26.9, 26.9. We've seen this repeatedly through the season, or certainly towards the tail end of the season, where the lap times have become so close and so consistent. So it looks like, again, we could well be in for quite a tense race. We may not have too many, but we've still got battles going on. Desert Pack is trying his best to hang on to the back of Zenny, but Zenny looks like he's catching up to Van Orman. There we go. There's the next ACR Audi. So that's 4th, 5th and 6th in short succession, with with Berserker in 7th. He's broken away from Nesterowicz. There is the Mercedes. All steady coming through that last turn. There's Nesterowicz, who's got Nagram in very short succession. Hunter is not far behind them. He hasn't really got to grips with the M6 and the weather just yet. Colonel McCoy started well, but has sadly fallen through the field. Leon, we saw he's had that pit stop, and Ironic looks like it's fallen off the back of the field again, because he hasn't been in the pits. Yeah,
he's even behind Leon, who's already pitted. So Ironic's having a very troublesome day.
Colonel McCoy's in, so he again will be taking his mandatory pit stop. We'll assume there's no obvious signs of damage on that particular car. Let's see if he stops for any length of time. He's got 70 litres on board, so that will easily see him to the end of the race. And away he goes. So if there was damage, it was exceedingly minor. And that is his pit stop sorted. Zenny on the back of Van Orman. Just over half a second between the pair of them as they stream on down that back stretch. In the background, you can see 2 Desert Pack. He's 1.5 behind this particular battle. So only 2 battles going on at the moment. Zenny on the back of Van Orman and Nagram on the back of Nsterowicz. So we'll see how the race pans out. Oh, actually, just as I say that, actually, I saw the familiar marker. Well, I see it on my side, of course, that tells me someone is close to somebody else. The M6. Wow, look at the 2 Lambos ahead, and that's Nagram and Nsterowicz. They've been close since the starting field spread out, and Hunter has got a pretty good view for that.
This is personal for the Hunter, because he just changed away from the Lambo into the M6. He will want to get past some Lambos in this race.
He was a 10th quicker than Nsterowicz and 3/10 quicker than Nagram. And wow, was half a second quicker than Nagram last time and nearly a full second quicker than Nsterowicz. So now as he started to get into his rhythm, I wonder, with the M6, Jardier 26.6. My goodness me, 4/10 faster than anybody out there in the black Audi. That's pretty amazing. Scott lost a couple of tenths off the back of the Audi ahead of him. Zenny still on the back of Van Orman. And look at that. It's not really what you want. When you're racing in the wet, you do not want sometimes you never really want pressure from behind, whether it's wet or dry. But when it's wet, that's the last thing you need to be concentrating on is trying to defend. You're concentrating hard enough on keeping the traction in the car, on keeping the car pointing in the direction you wanted to go, as opposed to where it thinks you want to go. Yeah. And then you have to jump off of that line to defend. Very much the advantage is with the attacker on that particular instance. And there you saw 2. We saw it again. We saw that earlier on. 2 different lines being used in that final turn. We see Van Orman either is just wandered wide, or he's choosing to get out of the kind of groove, so to speak, out of that inside line to try and cut back to the final corner apex earlier, or faster, I should say. Whereas Zenny sticks very hard to the apex for that long double right-hander. So it's very nip and tuck between these 2, but. Yeah, it seems like Zenny's got the measure of Van Orman at the moment. 2 Desert back. Unfortunately, he's now 2.5 seconds behind. He's struggling to keep up with these 2.
Yeah, certainly. Championship-wise, Zenny is well clear of Miss Van Orman in the championship. Van Orman is actually, he's not even been in the top 10 in the 3 races he's finished this season. So this, last season we saw Van Orman up there a lot. So it's kind of, in that sense, kind of good to see him back on form in 4th place in this race. So doing a good job holding Zenny behind at the moment. It's Zenny having a tough job. I mean, you say Van Orman is having a tough job, of course, defending in these conditions, but I'm sure Zenny has an equally tough job trying to attack with that spray straight on his windscreen. So it's certainly tough conditions to have a battle in general, I think it's fair to say.
It was made even worse by the fact that when you actually turn in, you can't see the apex. But there was actually a great way to view the different lines of these 2 taking. Zenny choosing to stick hard to the apex, so that actually reduced the spray he was getting, whereas Van Orman trying to either struggling to hang on to that apex. Oh, is Zenny going to have a look? No. I did think he was going to have a go. Oops! That's Van Orman struggling through turn 1. We could well see an attempt by Zenny to get that 4th place and then chase after Scott in the blue Mercedes. And again, the top 3 all in the 26s. Jardier continuing to extend his lead. Oh, that's close. That is very close. You get so nervous on the brakes, especially in the wet. And Zenny's not even running traction control. Wow. That would be the first thing I would turn on in the wet conditions. What's Van Orman? No, Van Orman's the same. I would imagine probably most of them are the same, to be fair. I mean, these are the best of the best for the PC side of GT3 runners.
Well, you'd think the best of the best would want to run the settings that make them the fastest. And you'd think in these conditions that traction control on is a way to go, but
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look at this big...
Van Orman is exploring the track somewhat, whether it's by design or not. He's certainly getting his money worth and trying to drive over every bit of track that's available. And again, there goes Zenny, sticking very hard to the apex line. I'm not sure he was actually trying to make a move there, but it just seems to be his preferred line through that last turn, just sticking very hard to the apex, whereas Van Ommen yet again going for that faster exit speed, and it's just about enough to keep Zenny in place. Zenny again having a look. No, again doesn't go for that particular move, and yet again Van Ommen gets very sideways. Now Zenny getting a move on the inside, coming through the second turn, side by side now through the third corner. Ooh, bit of contact between the two, firm but fair. Zenny having to concede and goes back into that fifth place.
Man, close and hard racing between these two. I thought Zenny might have had Van Ommen on the exit out of turn one when he just nudged Van Ommen a little bit off the apex of the second corner, but Ommen brought it back. Was a little bit aggressive on the next corner, but nothing too major. And Zenny is still the man on the chase. But look how close he is once again. I don't even know the track well enough to know if the next corner is right-hander or left-hander, but I think it's the right-hander, which is why Van Ommen is defending the right side of the track.
Well, there should be a map in your top right corner.
Oh, there is a map. Oh, look at that. Yeah,
Zenny!
The inside is claimed. The line, the racing, the best line for the next corner, and he's got the move done. Fantastic stuff.
Well played, Zenny.
Orange, Audi, and Zenny is up into fourth place. Can Van Ommen respond to this?
Very well played there by Zenny. He just bided his time, and look at that. He's already got himself nearly a second's gap. In fact, it is a second's gap before he's even crossed the line.
Well, yeah, Van Ommen understeered crazily out of the final corner there. He was nearly on the grass. So I think Zenny just... either his car is set up better for these conditions, or he just is more at home in this on this wet track.
Either or, it's working well for him. God, he's really... he's left Van Ommen for dead. That is amazing. There's a battle forming back here. It's Hunter and Berserker. Unfortunately, Berserker is starting to struggle a bit. The Mercedes, oh, he's gone too deep. Ooh, Hunter, that was close. Really had to take evasive maneuvers not to pile into the door of that Mercedes. Leon is actually back there, but we know that he's been through the pits recently. So the M6 jumping up to 10th position. Oh, that's a daring move in the dry, let alone in the wet. The Mercedes trying to get the inside line for the next chicane. Well held there by the Hunter. Just enough racing room, but it caused him to bounce over the apex, lost in the momentum, and Berserker then shoots back through into 10th place before the next apex. That was brilliantly done by the pair of them.
Yeah, I have to applaud Hunter for the way he left room for Berserker on the apex of those two corners when Berserker was just trying to stick snot up the inside, and if Hunter had closed the door, which he was fully within his rights to really do, because Berserker was not far enough really to warrant room, but it could well have led to an incident if Hunter had aggressively closed the doors. He could have, but unfortunately for him, yeah, as you said, he bounced off that sausage on one of the corners, and that has lost him that position in the end. We have quite a few actually drivers in the league in the chat at the moment, so sadly the biggest sort of sadness to see is Heidi in there, who should have been out to fight for the championship. For those who joined a bit late, Heidi, of course, Jadier's remaining title challenger with 2 races to go. Yeah, was meant to be racing today. He tried to race today, but unfortunately his connection problems led to him not being able to be on the grid, and
does look like the Hunter is shaping up for another move to get alongside. Oh, that's a big impact between the two, but well held by the pair of them. It does look like Hunter's got a bit of pace over the Mercedes at the moment, sliding his car around that third turn. Through the hairpin curve there. But still no movement. He's lost a bit of momentum. Leon is slowly and surely making his way back through the field after his early pit stop. Now back up to 8th on the back of Nagram, who I believe is he's the lead Lamborghini at the moment. So he'll be pressuring for that. That's the battle for 7th place. And of course, Hunter on the back of Berserker, as we previously saw. Cameraman is looking completely the wrong way and is too close. We could see Hunter's teeth at that point. Gunnar McCoy has got some company back there in the form of... it's Ironic and Gunnar McCoy keeping each other company at the tail of the field. Field is relatively spread out, as you would imagine. Jardier is leading the way now by 3 seconds just over from Popsu. They had the front row of the grid all to themselves And it continues to break away. But, interestingly, Scott is still right there. The lap times have been pretty similar, but has been to the Audi's benefit each lap so far. The Mercedes has done a great job, far better than I thought the Merc would do here. I didn't think the Mercedes would do well, but yet again, Scott proving me wrong on that one. In the background there, you can see Zenny, 4.5 seconds down the road from the Mercedes. Van Orman just behind. And then in 6th place is 2 Desert Pack, as Ironic brings his car in for his stop. Leon is now up to 7th. He has cleared the Lamborghini. So whether that was the Lambo letting him through or that was a legitimate move, we didn't see. That is Nagam then in 8th place with Nesterowicz just behind. In 9th, Hunter has managed to get past Berserker. Oh, is that a reshaped? Oh dear. There's been an argument there somewhere. That's not the original shape, and he's lost his lights.
He's lost half of his lights at least, which...
oh dear.
He's still got some light, otherwise it could have been problematic for him to see where he's going.
Yes. He's had a big argument with something very, very solid. We assume that Berserker's involved in that. No doubt.
Yeah, because Berserker's behind. Hunter's now picked up a penalty as well of 30 seconds.
Ouch.
That's not good.
Now that's usually kind of caused by overtaking off track. So we assume then that whereas Berserker was the closest car to him at the time, they may well have come together, but we don't know. Odan, I keep saying Odan because it still appears as Odan on my screen. As the Hunter could well have just had that incident completely on his own. Doesn't bring his car in. That's interesting.
That is very interesting, yeah. I mean, you have to do mandatory pit stop in the race anyway, so you'd think that if he does have damage, which just clearly looks like he does, you would want to get that fixed immediately. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I don't know that it does anything to the lights, but he'll continue. He continues on nonetheless. Colonel McCoy has lost his company. Ironic, as we say, bringing his car in. He's now got some company from the leaders. So he will, of course, have to obey the flags and get out of the way of those coming through, which is, of course, Jardier's gone past, Popsu is nearby. But that is how we stand at the moment. Closest pair of cars is these two, as far as I can see. That's for 11th.
Berserker might be struggling potentially if he's also got a bit of damage. After what we think was a little messy situation with the Hunter potentially.
All the lights are certainly working. That in itself is no indication that there's no damage there. If
Hunter's front lights are missing, then you maybe think Berserker's missing something at the rear, but I think his rear actually looks pretty decent as well.
Yeah, that would kind of indicate that the Odan has either had to take a sudden invasive move, or maybe they came together, or he's had that accident completely on his own. Oops, that's a little bit too deep into SP out. Strange name for a corner, but there we go. Colonel McCoy then is shaping up. That's of course that one particular mistake, just as they then come around 110R corner. Oh, and that Mercedes is getting very, very loose. Don't cut across into the pits. I had a horrible thought for a second. Berserker was just going to come straight into the pits and take Colonel McCoy with him. But that should be a pretty straightforward move for the Audi. And you're going to get... Oh, Berserker having a look on the inside. Bit of a tap there. But nothing too bad. Both of them live to fight another day. And wow, Berserker is, I'll give him his due, he's not making that easy for Colonel McCoy now.
Yeah, it's like Berserker seems to get some kind of superpowers when he's behind the car. It's like he looks really slow and then he gets overtaken and suddenly he's fighting back and looks really fast again. So, I don't know.
I mean, we'll give him his due. He's not just giving up on the position. I'll give him that much, but he's struggling there.
Oh yeah, that's horrible understeer on that Mercedes.
So that again could be damage related if there was an incident between himself and Hunter, which again it surprises me that he hasn't brought the car in. Someone's brought the car in. It's 2 Desert from 6th place. He has brought the orange, blue, and white Audi in.
You know, one person I think we might have to keep an eye on is Leon, because he's only about 33 seconds off the lead. But remember, he is pitted, unlike all of the top 5.
Wow, he was quickest man out there last lap.
Yeah, I think we have to keep an eye on Leon here. I think he could be in for, if not quite to be up there challenging Jadier, at least somewhere on the podium.
Well, he was up in 4th before he had early problems, and Hunter has brought that BMW in, along with Sesterowicz. The black Lambos come in as well. Oh, that Lambo is not going straight. I think that Lamborghini's got trouble. We know we can quite clearly see. Lights, voila! The M6 has got trouble. Yeah, Nesterowicz has had an argument with something pretty solid as well. We saw him kind of going in sideways into his pit box. And they are going to be there a while. Zenny has found pace as well. He was in the 26s last time. There's Scott in the Mercedes just ahead of him. So, yeah, there's people still finding grip and pace out there. Of course, one of them being this man, Jardier, of course, as we come to expect. 26.9 from the lead Audi. And from Zenny as well. He got a 26.9 on the board. 26.4 from Lenny. Mixing up names again. 26.8. So again, Leon was the fastest man out there. So yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on there, Fizzy. In that Leon is going to bring himself right in. Now, I don't know what the overall pit lane loss is, but I would imagine it might be more than 23 seconds, which is the gap from him to lead. So, bear in mind, everyone in front of him still has to pit. So this is going to be interesting.
Could be very close, actually. Yeah.
Well, we've lost Hunter.
The exact pit delta as Hunter. Yeah. So he just had too much damage to get it fixed in time that it took for him not to run out of patience, or yeah. He's just decided to call today, but at least Nesterowicz is back out on track. 1 minute 52 behind the leader, so he is lapped.
I think I was just looking at the map there, and it looked like someone was going very, very slowly, unless, of course, that was Hunter's car, but he was already deemed as out. So I'm going to keep an eye on the time to see if suddenly somebody falls dramatically to the bottom of the list. Popsy was the quickest man of the top three last time, so he's still finding pace out there. Ooh, steady, Jardier, don't be going on the grass, it's not going to help you. But you can see on the map that the top 5 are not all that far apart. That's Jardier down to Van Ommen's 13 seconds separating top to 5th, as we said. Oh, hello! Popsu's had trouble! He's in 3rd! Oh. He's now got Zenny for company, so Popsu's had an issue somewhere. Scott now up to 2nd. Yeah, we didn't say what the issue was, but I suspect it wasn't close enough to anybody to have a crash, so to speak, unless he's tangled with a back marker. And there's no back markers really anywhere near there, so I think he's just had an off. Scott's gone through, and now Zenny's piling the pressure on. Yeah,
Pops's had a mistake, I think, and easy to do in these conditions, of course. And yeah, even harder for us to catch mistakes when they are made, because we have to be very lucky to look at the right car at the right time. But anyway, what we do know is Popsu is under pressure from Zenny. And,
look at Leon's last lap.
And Leon's on a 26.1.
Dear God, yeah, Leon is on a charge. Berserker brings his Mercedes in, so he comes in from 10th. I mean, everybody is guaranteed some points here, quite comfortably.
Decent amount of points as well, as I said.
Zenny having a look again. He's thinking about a move on the inside of Popsu. That's going to get very close. But as my voice decides to let go on me. That's so close. There's Scott. You can see just up the road. God, blimey. Whether
Zenny keeps taking different lines all the time. It's making it scary.
It's terrifying for us. I mean, he may well be in full control of his faculties, but that looks absolutely crazy close in these wet conditions. I mean, the spray is as bad as it appears on the camera. Obviously, from here, it doesn't look too bad. Again, like in real-life motorsport, the spray doesn't look as bad from the external shot. Zenny went a little deep there on the exit of Rainbow Corner. But from there, that's what you're dealing with. And there's half a second between the two before they get to the braking zone. And Zenny again diving for that inside line very early. Whether he's just making himself really obvious in Popsy's mirrors or whether he's going for the early apex. We saw when Zenny was with Van Ommen that it was Zenny, I believe, was hanging on to that inside line much closer. Speaking of which, Van Ommen is nearly 4 seconds behind this particular battle. So Zenny is really on course for a good score today.
Yeah, definitely. Zenny on for, I assume, his season best for his joint. Wow, he's at 3 fourth places already. If he gets on the podium, though, that would be
that's consistent.
His season best result. Yeah. So Zenny's been up there, like just under the podium positions in quite a lot of the races. but he's never had that one podium, and now he's got a chance at it. I'm sure Zenny will be very motivated to try and get this position from Popsu. It's going to be a really, really tough task. You know, Popsu has been for several seasons now, and you know.
Leon's in trouble, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh no! Sorry, I misread that. I thought Leon was in 5th, but no, wrong Audi. We've lost Berserker, so down to 11.
Right. Yeah. 11. Okay. We are not even at console level anymore. We're like at Nintendo 64.
And we're not even halfway through the race yet.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing. There's Scott at the bottom of the shot. So these two Audis are reeling in that Mercedes. So we are on for quite an intense three-way battle here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Jardier is over 9 seconds ahead of Scott, who's got a couple of seconds on these two. So Jardier once again in a league of 1. And 3 of the... 3 of the remaining runners are not even on the lead lap, so it's quite an unusual race this evening.
Certainly is. I mean, we are used to having plenty of battles everywhere to talk about. I mean, we still have this battle, which is good. But there's usually a bit more cars to choose from than we have at the moment.
So I wince whenever they... Of course they're going to concertina in, the normal braking effect, but in the wet, even as a spectator, I'm just going, as they get very, very close. Potsu with 27.1. What was Leon? 26.6. Yet again, Leon, the fastest man on track.
I think Leon could be in for a chance at this race, actually. I mean, there's still, 24 laps to go? And Leon's been consistently putting slightly faster laps recently than even Jardier up in front. Of course, Leon has pitted, Jardier and the other guys in the top 5 have not. So you'd say that Leon is definitely now in that 2nd place and potentially even ahead of Jardier.
There he is. So, Leon could well be on course. I think he's certainly guaranteed a podium. He could well steal the win, and it would be exceedingly well deserved in these conditions.
And Jardier, that's going to surprise Jardier so much, I think, as well, because he can't see Leon down there in 6th place.
No.
He might not even know unless they are somehow communicating with each other. But
they could do.
Which he can do. I mean, they are sister teammates. I'm pretty sure Leon is also he's racing for Actual Vision's community racing, whereas Jardier is for Actual Vision without the S community racing. So I mean, they are some kind of team relationship going on there. Quite clever, but we don't know what kind of communication they have during the race, of course. And if Jardier doesn't know about Leon's situation there, he could be in for a shock when he comes out of the pits.
Scott lost 9 tenths on Popsu. Popsu managed to get a couple of tenths between himself and Zenny, a tiny bit of breathing space. I thought that Mercedes was getting a bit closer. And there he is. That's the view from Popsu. So he's almost equidistant between himself and Zenny now. So that three-way battle is forming very, very slowly. Lap on lap on lap. I'm still keeping on 8 yet again. Leon, 26.4. Another couple of tenths off that lead. So, I mean, there's a real clear divide from 6th to 7th if you look at the lap times. So, which is a little bit...
2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, the wet weather will do that. It will really bring out a very, very different skill set in the drive.
I was feeling Nagrom's lap time wasn't fully representative.
I think that's a fairly safe
unless the Lamborghini is actually that slow in this conditions.
Well, the Lambos do seem to be struggling this evening. I think it's fair to say. It actually looked like there was camera flashes going off on in the over the fence there. That's the last thing you want in the wet. Yeah, just blind me as I come past. Yeah, why not? Zenny again's reeled in that 0.3 of a second back on Popsu. Popsu and Scott almost identical laps to about 0.04 of a second. Again, you've got to bear in mind that is exactly what Zenny can see. So he's very much relying on muscle memory and anything he can vaguely see through the spray. And he'll be able to see that Mercedes is getting ever closer as well. Whether he's thinking about that or whether he's only concentrating on the Audi, only he will know. Oh, we lost half a second on that, so far on this lap, but that's not a surprise when you're that close to the car ahead.
Definitely not. Yeah, I'm enjoying this battle. It's good to have a nice podium battle going on. And of course the potential battle that we might await between Leon and Jodder later in the race. But yeah, Zenny and Scott actually, who's up in second at the moment, both of them are fighting for their first podium in the league. So, I mean, there's 3 spots on the podium. 2 of them are probably, as it stands, going to be reserved for Leon and Jodder. So, which means one of these 3 will be getting the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. But Zenny is not letting up at all from the tail of Popsu. He was again 2 tenths quicker than Popsu. Scott's lost another 10th to the red Audi as well. So he is being reeled in. It's a gap of 1.2 from the Mercedes to that red Audi. So he's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders very, very soon. Yet another 26 lap time from Jardier, 26.7 this time. Leon, 26. It's very much anything you can do, I can do better, is what's going on between Jardier and Leon. Leon just does not, or has yet to put a wheel wrong in this race besides the start. That seemed to go wrong for him, so he did a De Heidi and stuck it in the pits as early as he could, and it is really paying off for him because there's no one anywhere near him. The next car down the road is Van Ommen, 6.8 seconds ahead, so he's had no one to fight with, unlike this one, who's had a faithful of Popsu for the last few laps.
Yeah, these guys are just changing lap times at the moment, and there's only can't quite get close enough to really make a move. And yeah, it's a case of Popsu. Can he get to Scott before Zenny gets too close? And he's done a good job on this lap to pull away a little bit more. Let's check the lap time. Scott with 27.3, Popsu 26.9, and Zenny lost a bit of time there, 27.5. Van Ommen doing 26.9 as Zenny has gone wide of the first corner. Gonna lose him a little bit more, you'd think, as well. Don't know if you get any sort of penalty warnings going off on that particular area, but they of course have to be a little bit careful to get penalised as well by the game. We saw the race last week almost getting decided on a penalty between De Heidi and Jodder. In the end, Jodder got the move done on track anyway, but yeah, if he hadn't, then De Heidi would have lost that win. Having gotten a 2-second penalty, so it could be costly to get one.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching. It was very odd being in the being on the spectator side of the but unfortunately my youngest was not very well, which prevented me from commentating last week. So I saw the racing in parts, but it was a great scrap at the sharp end at Nürburgring. Nürburgring or Hockenheim, I've forgotten.
Hockenheim, actually.
It was Hockenheim. I had the right country. So, but this time, a pair of Audis in the form of Popsu and Zenny fight on as they come around that last turn once again through 110R and through the final corner. It is called final corner. That's not just me being lazy. That is what it's called. Zenny has decided he's had enough of his car being washed, so he's going to bring his car in, which makes sense if you're stuck in traffic. Bring the car in and try for the undercut, because of course Popsu is going to have his face full of spray from Scott, so that could be quite a good masterstroke there from Zenny. We'll see how that pans out when all the pit stops are done.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if Popsu and Scott choose to react directly to this, or if they're happy to just stay out there for the time being. Zenny with a very quick stop there. No tires or fuel additions for him, just getting that mandatory stop out of the way. Back out on track in what looks like 6th place.
Yep, Leon's gone through.
There. Yeah, Leon is way clear of this. Let's see if the timing is updated so we can see the gap between them. Maybe no, not yet. 10 seconds.
Yeah, 9.5 seconds.
Okay, let's see. So Zenny was a bit more. He was about 13 seconds maybe off Jardier. So actually, I think Leon might still just about be in that 2nd place, but it's very close.
It's going to be very close,
and especially if Leon continues to do these lap times.
Yeah, exactly. He's been ever so slightly chipping away. He's now just about getting under the 21-second mark. Now, the later you leave the pit stop, in theory, the less time you sit there for, because they're not really looking to take on fuel. But if anyone's under-fueled, speaking of which, what is Jardier carrying? Fat chance, 42 litres for Jardier 50 for Scott. Wow, Scott's heavy. Oh, Popsy reacted straight away, so he didn't want to leave it a chance. Yeah, he's 38 litres. He runs the risk of being underfuel. Van Olman's gone through. He's got 42 on board. Where's Leon? Long past him before Popsy's even stopped. There's Nagram. He's now up to 6th. I don't know whether Zenny had a problem, because he was ahead of Nagram.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Zenny now? Oh, that's a little bit wide. Yeah, Zenny's had a problem because he's now stuck in between the two Lambos, and Popsy's now back on the road. So that has not gone well for Nagram. For Zenny, rather.
For Zenny, yeah. So Zenny is definitely behind, and he's also got a Lamborghini ahead of him who has not pitted, I believe. So Nagram is sort of an annoying obstacle for Zenny in this occasion. Because it's not actually battle for position, I think, of the race overall. He's just going to have to try and get through and look at that exit, but he's hit the back of the Lambo instead of going past, so that's going to make it even harder for him. He's trying to stick it the nose up the inside there, but Nagram is just driving his line. He is having none of this. It's up to Zenny to make the move, and what's happened here, Scott?
Scott's had a problem, he's behind Van Olman.
Oh, yes. Wow, Scott's lost a lot of time. He's lost about 6-7 seconds.
Is he coming in? Yep, Scott's going to come in. So he's had a problem. Yeah, as you see, he lost a lot of time. There's Leon. Leon is now in 3rd. And under 21 seconds behind. So, yeah. Let's see if Scott picks up any damage. Obviously, the giveaway is he will sit in the box for longer than he needs to. I was wondering if there was any pit crews out for a second, but there obviously is. And how long is he going to be stationary for? No time whatsoever, so there was no damage on that Mercedes.
I like how the pitman just bends down to undo the tyre, but then he doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
But let's see then. Scott
Popsy through.
Mistake is behind. He's not really as far behind as I would have thought after that mistake.
So Popsy didn't have a very good outlap then.
Yeah, you would think so. So Scott's still within the chance of a podium. But of course, Van Olman's going to be right in this mix as well if he has a similar pit time to Scott. So he could be right in this battle when he comes out.
It all hinges on how quickly Jardier can come through the pits. He's going to have to do it. He's still got time. Oh, never mind. He's brought it in. So
okay, this is crucial.
Yep, the question is going to be answered very, very soon. I was just thinking he's got to lap 40 to bring that car in. But he's decided to do it now. Where is Van Olman? Just coming around that last turn. He's got Leon right with him. He's going to lose it. Oh, that's going to be close. You can see on the map the 2 white dots. And Van Olman's brought his car in. Leon.
So this is 1 and 2. Where's Jardier? He's there.
Oh, that's too deep. That's too deep. That's going to hurt. That's going to be a ping warning for sure. That's Jardier. So I think Leon's just pushed it a little bit too hard towards the end, but if Leon can keep up that pace, he'll close that gap down. That's only 1.5 seconds between the two, and he has been the quicker Audi for very, very consistent laps for quite some time. So that is not a done deal by any stretch, and they've still got another 17 laps to do.
Yeah, still quite a long time to go in this race. You have to wonder, really, if Jardier's pace has been a case of him taking it easy, thinking that he's got, the lead easy in the bag. Maybe not knowing what Leon's been up to so far in this race. And maybe he will step it up a bit now that he knows that Leon's only 2 seconds behind. But
look at that.
Leon's looking very fast.
Zenny and Van Olman still having a battle. That's for 5th place then. Both of them have been, I think everybody has been through the pits now. There is Nagram just behind them. Zenny so close. Scott just going out at the bottom of the shot there with Popsu just 9/10 ahead, if that. Whoa, Zenny is determined to get past the black ACR colour car. Oh, how did you not make impact? God, you could barely fit a cigarette packet between the pair of them. They were so close. Oh, Zenny don't wander wide there. Zenny doing a great job of hanging on to the back of Van Olman. And like we say, Nagram is only 1 and a bit behind. Wow, that is really wide, Van Olman. He's going for that later apex on that final turn. Again, the corner's so wide, I don't know realistically if that makes too much of a difference. But that's the line he's been using, I think, all race long, so it works for him. could also be a fact that they can see. Unfortunately, sometimes the weather conditions from a spectator's standpoint don't show the standing water all that well. It could be that that's exactly what Van Orman's trying to avoid, but I would be surprised if anybody's driving through it if that was the case. Zenny is pushing Van Orman along. Scott's not too far off the back of Popsu, but that gap does seem to be increasing, so the Mercedes struggling to keep pace with the Audi ahead. Oh, Zenny again. Oh, that was Van Orman, I think, running wide off of the S-turns, but he's very slow through that next turn. Zenny then having the opportunity to drag on the inside of the rainbow curve, but again, it's well parked there by Van Orman to disrupt the momentum of Zenny.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Van Orman is experienced, he knows how to fight in these cars, and Zenny has a very tough task on his hands. It was looking good for Zenny to potentially get on the podium a bit earlier, but then he had a couple of little mistakes, and now he's got to get past 3 cars if he wants to get that first podium of the season, of course. And Van Orman is no easy man to get by, and once again we see those differing lines through the final corner. It gives Van Orman a very good exit onto the straight, but Zenny is not far behind at all, trying to grab a bit of slipstream, but the penalty for that is to get all that spray straight in your face. Let's head down into the braking zone. A little bit of the apex for Van Orman, but it's kept his car, kept the momentum through the corner nicely, and Zenny has to embark on yet another lap of trying to find a way through.
These two are still pretty close. It's Leon and Jardier. Leon was 0.2 faster last time around. We've seen Leon do a 26.1. Whether that was with some slipstream, of course, we don't know. We didn't see the lap happen. But he's keeping himself at about 2 seconds between himself and Jardier. So that battle is not resolved at all. Zenny nailed to the back of Van Orman, as we've been seeing. Scott has lost the back of Popsu. Well, I say that, they're still fairly close, but Popsu just has the pace over the Mercedes at the moment. It's a luxury that Van Orman does not have, though. He is doing his best to fend off the ever-persistent advances of Zenny. Now coming through, SB in and SB out. Heading down to 110 and the final corner once again. We have got 15 laps remaining, or 14 laps remaining when they cross the line. Once again, all the spray in the world. And Zenny just gets a decent amount of momentum, just not enough to overcome Van Orman. But is it going to be something into the first turn? He's having a look at the inside. He's going to try and late braking maneuver in the wet. He's gone for it. Both of them leaving racing room. He's going to have the inside for the next turn. There he goes. He's got the move done. Can he get back into the racing line? He does just about. He's got the move done. That is 5th position to Zenny.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of one of the moves he did earlier in the race as well. Zenny just sticking his nose up there, forcing the other car to go wide, and then he gets the better exit out of the corner as a result of that, and that is job done. Up to the top 5 again for Zenny. He does like the 4th place finish, but if he wants to get there, he has 3.3 seconds to catch to get up to Scott and Popsu. Popsu pulled away a little bit from Scott, actually, in the last few laps when we haven't really been watching them. So Popsu is now looking like the favourite for that final podium spot. Unfortunately for Scott, it's going to be another race without a podium for him. Both him and Zenny have been very close throughout the season. Several, both of them actually, having had some 4th places, I believe. He has to wait a bit longer, but looks of it at the moment. Of course, Popsu could, of course, still make a mistake. He's done so already in the race. But look at this, 1.2 seconds between the top 2.
Another 3/10 gone out of that lead. Leon is just not relenting whatsoever. And of course, why should he? 30 litres in Leon's car. Well, 32 in Leon's 30th. 30 litres in Jardier's 32 in Leon's nearest, damn it. The same fuel level.
I have a feeling that's not going to make too much of a difference.
Yeah, I can't see that making... Well, either way, the slightly heavier car is doing the slightly quicker lap time, so that undoes that theory. Popsu also in the 26s, but he's 18 seconds or so behind this battle, so that pretty much rules him out. Scott, exactly as we were saying, has lost the back of Popsu. There they are. There's about 3 seconds between those two. There is Zenny. Actually, he's already cut that gap down to 2. Whoa, that's a slightly unusual line there by... Is that Van Orman? It was Van Orman that was taking a slightly strange line on the exit of the Rainbow Corner. But Zenny is now a man on the move. He's broken away nearly 2 seconds ahead of Van Orman. Yeah, we saw he made that one mistake, but he was already a sizable gap ahead of the Audi already by that stage. He's closing in on the Mercedes at quite a rate of knots.
Absolutely, yeah. Zenny's looking rapid in these conditions, you have to say.
Absolutely.
And you know, we know that Mercedes is a car that tends to struggle a bit in the corners, so maybe the Audi is just better for these conditions. And if that is the case, Scott is doing a fantastic job. Really. Only a non-Audi in the top 5, in the top 6 even. But yeah, this is a battle that I hope will escalate into more than just a battle of lap times. Leon once again last time 2/10 quicker than Jadier. He's within a second and a half on his sister teammate, and Leon has not had a win. The wins this season have been split between the Heidi, Storm and Jadier. No one else has really had too much of a chance so far, apart from Popsu having a little look in here and there, but never quite making it work. But this here is Leon on the move. He wants his first win in this league.
Zenny is really got in. That's under a second already, so that Mercedes is starting to struggle. It was 28.3 for Scott last time around, so Zenny is absolutely piling the pressure on. Another 2/10 gone, or 1.5, over 1.5 tenths gone out of the lead then between Leon and Jardier. And with 11 laps to go, Jardier runs a risk of that getting very cozy before too much longer. Zenny, exactly as we said, has been absolutely destroying the gap between himself and Scott for a while now. Let's see what
it's matching Jadier now on that last lap. Only one. Well, actually, yeah, 2 tenths slower.
Yeah, so
I was actually looking at
leader's pace.
Yeah, pretty much leader's pace.
Nagram's brought his car in, so that will propel him towards the tail end of the field. But Zenny is absolutely flying. Oh, no sooner do I say that, he then goes a little bit deep into the hairpin curve, which is understandable. If you're getting close to another car, you have got to be aware of the line they are taking, otherwise you will go into their boot. Whoa, Scott again, he didn't really bother the apex too much on the high point curve, as it's called. And they are absolutely matched, but it is costing Zenny time, and was just that very wide Mercedes parked right in the middle, and Zenny wasn't sure which way he was going to go. Oh, cameraman. No, that's close. He wanted to turn in a bit harder than that, but the Mercedes tail was already in the way. He's going to have a look on the inside. No, he chooses not to for SPN. Oh, bit of a nudge there. Push him a little bit wide. I think he's going to try and do a bit of a slingshot through 110R and final corner. But it's all dependent on, he would prefer a bit more of a gap between himself and the Mercedes if he was going to do that. But surely now is when he's going to start to make a move. Once again, that Mercedes plonking us out. Oh, as he's gone hard over to the inside. Scott is not making it easy for Zenny. Now side by side before they get to the break. He's over turn 1. And Zenny's he's hanging on in there. He's got the momentum on the Mercedes. That's going to give him the outside.
Can he do it? Yes.
No contact still between the two. It's going to have the inside for the third corner. Oh, that's still very close. Still no impact between the pair of them. God. And now he's going to have the apex for the next turn, and that is 4th for Zenny. What a great move. And Van Orman's actually getting interested as well, so Scott hasn't, the pressure hasn't ended on Scott either. So, yeah, Van Orman now getting interested. Actually, Conan McCoy's got some company there as Nagram's come out of the pits. But Leon is getting very dangerously close to getting within a second of Jardier now as they come around that last turn as well. Let's see what the lap times were. Yet another 10th in Leon's advantage. Over the line. 26.7. 26.7.
Oh, 3,000 quicker.
3,000.
Jardier is still driving incredibly fast, but it must be frustrating for him to see Leon just ever so slightly faster every lap behind him. It was only 3,000 on that occasion, but it was still catching a little bit.
Yeah, Jardier is basically used to battling De Heidi, but this time he's had the lead all race long, or near as damn it, and he just doesn't seem... He hadn't answered that lap, but for all race long, since Leon took his early pit stop, Leon has just been that little bit quicker. But Leon is running out of laps to do anything about it. He can catch Jardier, sure, but is he going to have enough time to get past him? Van Olmen, as you can see, has caught the back of Scott already. Zenny has, you just seen Zenny go out the shot. He's broken away to the tune of nearly a second, and that's just in a single lap. So Van Olmen now is going to be pressuring the back of the Mercedes. I don't think Scott's going to be achieving fourth this time round.
No, it certainly looks tricky with the way Zenny is going at the moment. Absolutely impressive from him. And let's see then if Leon will catch on. Well, he's done it many laps in a row until now. Is Jardier finally going to respond in terms of his lap time? 1:46.755. No, Leon is still a tenth and a half, and is now under a second behind the leader of this race. He's got 8 laps, 7 laps. 8 laps.
Yeah, 8 laps. Yeah. So he's not got a lot of time left, and the laps are not particularly long. So he can't use the I've still got time to make that gap up. Well, so
if he makes 1/10 per lap, he will basically be next to him on the final one.
And that's about between 3 thousandths and 2 tenths is about the gap that has been between Leon and Jardier. So that is still going to happen, that particular battle, unless of course one of them makes a mistake and completely shatters our hopes and dreams and prediction for this particular race. Van Olmen is still on the back of that Mercedes. It does look like Van Olmen's struggling a bit to keep the traction in the direction he wants it to go in. It doesn't seem to be the case with Leon though. Whatever setup Leon's running, ACR getting a fair amount of coverage. That's absolutely fine. Of course, Jardier being, it's going to be top of the championship after this race, unless he throws it into the wall, which of course we're not hoping he does, but it's still possible. And Leon has definitely closed in. And look at that! Look how early Jardier went to the defensive line. He is not comfortable that Leon is going to set 26.2 for Leon. Nearly his fastest that. We saw him do that incredible 26.1. He is now right on top of Jardier's rear wing.
This battle is about to escalate to unbelievable extents, I think. Look at this. Leon is now in striking range of his teammate, the championship leader Jardier, who is on course. If he he can stay in the top 2 and he will win the championship at the end of this race. Unfortunately for De Heidi with his disconnection issues. Oh, look at that! Bit of oversteer it looks like on the grass there for Leon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's certainly very, very close to take his first win. But Jardier is not an easy place to cast. Leon has done 50% of the job to catch up Jardier throughout this whole race, but he's still got half the job still to do if he wants to get past.
Ronnick is in the pits. He's been there a while, so assumedly he's had an argument with the wall. Season 2, one of the guys promoted from Season 2. Season 2? Tier 2, rather. Season 2? What am I talking about?
That's quite a long time ago.
That was quite a while ago, yeah. That was before my time in AOR. He's back out on the track, though. But there it is. It's half a second separates these two. I would imagine. Yeah, I would think. I was just thinking, I'm sure Jardier's just opened that gap up a little bit. It's not even by a tenth, but it's a tiny bit. He's opened that up. But Jardier, as we saw, committing to the defensive line last lap, he can't relax. He's got to work to keep Leon behind him. And he's got another 6 laps to do it. Wow, that's committed. That's really sliding the Audi around. And it looked impressive from this particular view. Whether he's now throwing the car harder to try and do something against Jardier now, or whether it's just a case of that's what he's been doing all race long. Of course, only he knows that. As they come through Rainbow Corner again. Oh, and again, just Leon's pushed it a little bit too much and just wandered onto the grass. And it's just those little mistakes that will just be enough for Jardier to maintain that lead.
Yeah. Leon pushing on here. Can he pull off some kind of sick dive bomb before the end of this race? We will have to wait and see. But it looks like Leon is struggling. Yeah, it looks like Leon is struggling a little bit more. Look at this. Look at this, Van Omen. Oh, Scott's Mercedes struggles is continuing here. He seems to have fallen off the pace a little bit towards the end of this race, maybe just more tyre wear than the Audis. As Dinder has suggested in the chat, another man who I would like to see on the track, considering he did start the season in the league. Anyway, enough about people not racing. Van Omen is on the move here. He wants to get through. Scott forced to go defensive once again, which makes it hard for Van Omen to find a way through. But if Scott is actually struggling with his tyres, not going to only struggle through the corners, he might struggle on the exits as well. And Van Omen, all he has to do is try and stay close and hope that Scott will have a little bit of traction problems somewhere. This corner not really going to work for that, but we know Van Omen likes his good exits out of the final corner.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. That's traffic that these two are coming up against. I'm assuming that isn't Popsu. No. It's because they haven't lapped the entire field.
Yeah.
That'll be... I don't know who that is. Oh, they're side by side! The Mercedes and the Audi. I just saw their names very briefly swap round as they were trying to go through turn 1. Now don't know who to look at because these two are very close together. The back marker's still in front of them. So this could well get very, very interesting. Van Omen and Scott fighting for 5th. Leon is determined to get that lead, get that crucial win. And yeah, I was just thinking whoever the back marker is coming into the pits. Okay,
that's one way to get out of the way, leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's Colonel McCoy. Oh, he had no fuel. That's why he's coming in. So, yeah, you're not going to make 3 litres last, I'm afraid. Oh, 2/10 to Leon. Got 127, literally dead. So that's impressive. But he's pressing on. It's been so nip and tuck between these two. But he's running out of laps. 4 laps to go here in Sugo, in a very, very rain-drenched Sugo. And Jardier's just got to hold on. Leon has been piling the pressure on for so long, and he's made a small mistake. It's just cost him a couple of tenths. But it seems to be what's happening with Leon. He's just pushing a little bit too hard, and that's just gifting Jardier that tiny bit of breathing space. That's all he needs to keep that lead. That's not ominous. Oh! Yet again into turn 1. Oh, and that's the Audi trying to switch back on the Mercedes. That is the widest Mercedes in the world. He's now going to commit to the outside What a move by Van Omen. It's not done yet, though. He's trying to do an outside round the second turn, rather. Oh, well defended by Scott there. Great effort by Van Omen, but he could not make it stick. Valiant effort.
One move around the outside was fair enough, but Scott forced him to try another move around the outside as well, and 2 was a bit too much.
Leon's made a mistake. He's lost 2 seconds. Oh. 3 laps to go, and that is not the time you want to be wandering a little bit too wide. But there's 2 cars they're coming up to that could put Jardier a bit off his. I think is that Nagram? Nope, that's not Nagram. I can't tell who it is. Unfortunately, it's looking ball with Jardier. That's one of the Lambos.
I think it was 2 laps down now.
Yeah, well spotted. Oh, ironic, don't get in the way!
Get in Leon's way a little bit, potentially. Gets off the track at least for him.
That was his only choice. He had to jump off the track. And that's Nesterovic. That's jumped royally out of the way. So he does not want to be involved at all. Nesterovic and Ironic are a position apart but not on the same lap. So
they can still have a battle and keep each other company for the last 2 laps, at least.
True. But
they were battling for positions actually for 10th until Ironic did his second pit stop. Before that they were actually 4 seconds apart.
So Leon then now 1.5 down, or 1.7 down before coming into the last turn. It's a lot of work to do, but not impossible. As they come across the line, penultimate lap then, lap 44. And lap time 27.3, 27.0. So yeah, 3/10, but that won't be enough. He's going to have to rely on Jardier making a mistake, and it's been a while since we've seen Jardier make a mistake.
That does not happen very often. It happens once in a blue moon. I don't know how often blue moons happen, but it's not often.
Not often at all. Van Orman still chasing the back of that blue Mercedes. He'll be quite glad to see the back of it. Oh, I'm sorry, he's been seeing the back of it. He'll be glad to get rid of it. So there's that gap is once again between the two ATR Aldis. Oh, and again, just wandering a little bit too wide on the exit of the rainbow curve. But Jardier with the momentum to be able to hang on to the lead. And he will be obviously wanting to carry that on for just one more lap. Van Orman, though, his determination has not waned. Scott was slow. That was very close. Scott was a bit slow coming out of that third turn. Now through the hairpin, through the S's again. And still the Audi is getting the shower off the back of the Mercedes. Oh, Van Orman will be getting exceedingly frustrated. He was hoping for a better run than that, but the Mercedes just given the traction where he needs it. The leaders are on the 45th and final lap. Just a second separates them. But looks like it was just one mistake that's decided that one. Van Orman still pressuring the back of Scott. Doesn't look like that one's going to go away until they get to the flag.
Oh, and that is just really impressive from Scott, the way he's been able to keep the Audi behind him when it looks like the Mercedes is struggling a little bit. Especially later in the race and in these conditions, but he's keeping Van Orman at bay, and that is all kudos to him once again, though, on the defensive line, but he's made that work before. There is no reason that's not going to work again. Scott parking his Mercedes right on the apexes to running beautiful racing lines. Van Orman, though, oh, look at that wider entry, lots more speed through the corner, but there's no way for him to go. Scott is right in the middle of the track, and that Mercedes isn't exactly the narrowest car to get through, yeah.
Well, Leon is flashing his lights. Jardier is flashing his lights, and absolutely fair enough. Then your winner here in Sugo, it is ACR Jardier by half a second from Leon, the sick one. Leon actually getting 9/10, I think, on that last lap. Popsu is going to cross the line a distant third in the red and black Audi. But again, occupying the last podium spot once more. Zenny, a very solid result for him. He will cross the line in fourth, but this battle rages on for fifth place between Scott and Van Orman. Round the last turn, it looks like Scott's just got enough to keep that fifth position to himself. And indeed he does. The blue Mercedes comes over the crest and takes that fifth position. Two turns apart, we haven't looked at you for a while. He's going to cross the line in seventh place with that's Nagram. 3 seconds down. Kenan McCoy, Nistero, and Ironic already have crossed the line, not on the lead lap. We didn't start with many, we lost quite a few, but that is the last of the finishers.
And with that, Jardier is the Season 10 champion. The Heidi no longer has a chance after not being able to do this race with his connection problems, which means Jardier is the second man in the history of the AOR PCT1 GT3 leagues to retain a championship, the second man to win more than one championship in this league. Fantastic achievement for the Czech driver, who's had once again a really, really impressive season. He's been challenged by Storm in the first half until he unfortunately had to pull out. He's been challenged by the Heidi throughout. I'm sure he would have liked to be challenged by him today as well. And hopefully we will see another final battle between them next week for the season finale. But Jardier, absolutely a deserved two-time champion of this league.
Indeed, indeed. Shall we see if anybody wants to have a word with us?
I'm sure Jadier might be waiting, because he always is.
He generally is. He's always good fun to have a chat
So we're
with.
going to have a word with the newly crowned two-time champion. And I see Leon is there as well. So,
What a surprise. Let's grab them both over. Are they talking? No, they spoiled our fun again. And here they are. We have got Leon the second one and Jadier in the box with us. What a battle between you two. Leon, going to come to you first of all. Surely you must have felt that the win was right there. Just trying to get past a certain very determined Mr. Honzik. How was that one for you?
That was an amazing race. I really enjoyed it. I had unfortunately a horrible start and got some damage, and back to 7th or 8th position, and I was 7 seconds behind Jadier. So I'm like, oh shit! So I better pit now, repair my damage, and just try to fight my way back in clean laps. But when I came out of the pits, I immediately struck traffic again, so I lost like another 7 seconds or something fighting those guys. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm 14 seconds behind. But after that, I got clean air, and I just drove the absolute perfect I could, really consistent, and just tried to focus. And somewhere I picked up front aero damage, not so much, but a little bit. So when I finally catch up to Jadier, it was really hard to overtake him, because every time I got close, the dirty air was really huge, so my car was so slippery and I couldn't get the power down after the corners. And the front aero damage didn't help me to overtake him on the straights. So I just couldn't, no matter what I did. Every time I got close, the dirty air. But anyway, it was an amazing race. It was a great race by Jadier. He did no mistake either. If he made a mistake, I would probably pass him. So that was just amazing.
Great stuff. Before we head over to our winner, let's have a word with Zenny, who has also joined us. It was good to see you on the stream as well. Zenny, you had, I think it's fair to say, your fair share of battles. How was that one for you?
It was a lot of fun. Loads and loads of fun. Really enjoyed it. Sadly, one mistake kind of cost me a chance at third, but I really enjoyed that race. It was so much fun.
Awesome. I mean, you were very much a fan of that kind of switchback maneuver we witnessed you do quite a few times. Is it a case of how far in advance were you planning your attacks? As it looked quite controlled from our side, but it's not always the case when you're behind the wheel on a very rain-soaked track.
I was just trying to set up your overtake 2 corners before, get them out of shape and then make them go defensive and try and switch back and just get the best drive I could. No wheel spin, no sliding, and it worked, but pretty much every time I tried it, so I guess I'll be using that again in the future.
Great stuff, well done, Zenny. And of course, we come over to Mr. Yaroslav Honzik. It is Jadier, double champion. It is confirmed. How are you feeling after that one? Even you must have felt under pressure at the end.
Oh man, you can't imagine. I was absolutely under pressure because, first of all, I'm not even happy that I won the championship right now, because I'm a little depressed that a lot of people dropped from the championship, and especially I'm so sorry that Heidi couldn't race today, which I was really looking forward. But nevertheless, I was after 15 laps, I was super confident. I was no problems whatsoever. I was pulling away from Popsu, and people in my stream told me that Leon had some problems and he pitted early, that he crashed. I was okay, there's nobody to challenge me right now at the moment. And then a few seconds later, I can see Leon on the 6th place, dropping the times, beating the times, and I'm holy shit, he's close.
Because we were trying to guess. We obviously saw him come in, and it was actually Fizzy that spotted. It was my God, he is setting some pretty damn impressive lap times. We saw a 26.1 come out of you, Leon. It's we couldn't believe that that kind of pace in those conditions was possible. We were trying to think that's going to be very, very close, and then lo and behold, 1.5 seconds when you came out. At that point, Jadier, you must have been thinking, "Well, I've got to work hard now."
Yeah, exactly as you said. I was when I left the pit lane, I was okay, I will be either right behind Leon or right in front of him, and I will need to do everything. and I was like 1 second in front of him or 2 seconds in front of him, and he was just coming, and I was trying everything. I was driving on my absolute edge, and I absolutely couldn't improve much, and he was just coming and coming. And then like 4 laps to go, 5 laps to go, I was like, okay, it's over, because he will catch me, and I know how he likes to overtake, like very hardly, so I know he will go there for 100%, especially after Bruno when he told me that he want to beat me. And I was very afraid, but then I seen like he dropped on the lap times for last 4 laps, and I was like either thinking he's letting me go or he's having dirty air, and I was kind of afraid what is going on. But I'm very happy that like the dirty air helped me finally in a good way.
Great stuff. Well done. Congratulations again, Jardier, for taking the title. Absolutely amazing stuff. Any questions your side, Fizzy?
No, I just want to congratulate Jardier. It's you are, I don't know if you know it or not, but you are our second ever in 10 seasons double champion. So well done, sir.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you in F1 2018.
Oh yes, you're coming there as well. Good. Cool. Another driver who I can't beat. Great.
Excellent stuff then. I think at this point we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the chat. It's been an honour and a pleasure to commentate for yourselves. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on a great show as always, despite the fact we didn't have all that many of them. Well done, Jardier, again. Well done to everybody, but particularly well done, Jardier, for becoming champion again. Thank you very much, Fizzy, for tolerating me in the commentary box. Always an honour and a pleasure, sir.
Yes, no worries. I want to give a quick shout out before we go to the PC Multiclass Endurance League that is starting tomorrow. So they're racing every other week, I believe. I don't know if there's any broadcast planned.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
That will be right here on this very channel, commentated by myself, and also Doc will be joining me in the box for that one, former endurance racer himself. So, yes, the Endurance League kicks off underway with 2 hours of Monza. That's the LMP 180s, LMP2 and GTEs. That is going to be pretty spectacular.
Awesome. So tune into that tomorrow night then, everyone, to get even more crazy racing with 3 different classes on the track. But yeah, I don't think it's too much more to say, KK, so you can just take us away.
Thank you very much for those that have been with us, and we will see you back here for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.